Peace to the gods and earth. It's the God-born Bill Universal, transmitter supreme science on earth and the universe. And this is iGod TV. We back in the house with the big Augie.
Augie.
Yes,
What up,
sir.
Bill?
Yes, sir. Augie and the Agavelli, you know what I'm saying? We back in the house. You already know we coming. We got some stuff to talk about today, family. We're here to chop it up. You know what I mean? But first of all, happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays to you, big Augie. What's going on?
Hey, man, every day is a holiday, like the witch doctor said, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt, man, no doubt. And just speaking on that, man, there's always a lot of chatter, especially in the conscious community, you know what I'm saying, about these holidays, holy days, however they want to put them, and they all been debunked and decoded. And we know what time it is, when it come down to it, But at the end of the day, man, if you're really looking at it, with so much running around we do, and with so much, separation we have and loss of life we have and things like that, man, anytime where we can unplug from the job, they don't have you coming to work today, and you can unplug, get to the house, invite some of the family members over that you ain't seen in a while because they running around too. You know what I mean? Or even your kids that you ain't seen if they grown up and things like that. We can still utilize these moments, to bring people together, have some food, speak over a meal. That's some of the best times when things get solved, and business gets done over a meal, if you think about it. So what my point is, let's utilize, if nothing else, let's utilize these holidays and these moments to where we can actually unplug from the matrix. Let's use the clean house a little bit, build on the things that we got going on personally, you know what I mean, to bring them together or end a few things, however it may be. But let's just leave the confusion of, is this real, how this happened, who did this, who did that, the blame game. We've been doing that for 50 years now, and I feel like it's time to put that all to a rest. You know what I mean? Because even in the conscious community,
Right.
when was the Bible written? Who did this? Was Hebrews ever slaves? Why are we still asking questions that we know the answers to? We still debating over them. You go to some of these conscious channels, they still debating over things we talked about 10 years ago, you know, things that the elders, Bobby Hemmett and dudes like this and Quasi done told us the real about years ago. And they still using them as debate topics. Like, that's where our level of thinking still is, man. And anybody that's tapped into iGod TV, they know that we're well past that, and we're way deeper into the mysteries than just those surface questions. You feel me, Augie?
Facts. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to get on iGod TV. You're going to get a mixture of, what they say, the arcane and and the and the and uh, the esoteric. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you get everybody get a mixture of what they want. Like I said, we say the streets is a myth, and that's right outside your door. So if you can't watch one of our programs and go outside and see what we talking about in
Right.
your mind, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Then I don't know what we probably don't. You probably don't need to watch this channel. I hate to say it like that, but some things ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? And I feel like we like we like the Kabbalion, y'all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We for those. If you stumble on iGod TV and become a fan, this was meant for you.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I
here
mean?
for a
Because
reason. You
we're
definitely
gonna
here
give
for a reason.
yeah, you definitely here for a reason. And and if you was meant to be here, enjoy, what I'm saying, all levels of the chambers, what I'm saying, of the
Right.
temple. You know
Right.
what I
And that
mean?
reason
And because
is,
all we trying to do is build.
that's right. And that reason is, to see things because you're ready to see things as they are and not how they appear to be. You know what I mean? That's peace to the
That's right.
gods, peace to the big Augie, peace to the Agavellians, peace to the whole family. You know what I mean? Make sure you liking and
No
sharing.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And you just enjoying the topping it up with us, man. And feel free to comment in and say whatever you might feel, man. But always
If
keep
it's
it
your first
respectful.
time,
You know what I'm
subscribe.
saying? But these are those times, and that's my point. These holidays and these moments, any time that you can unplug from the matrix, and it not hinder you or hinder your movements, use that time to build. You know what I mean? And huddle up, get the game plan before you get back out there. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much my point. And one thing I wanted to say, man, about a lot of things that's been going on, just want to touch on real quick before we continue. But we've been talking a lot about what's been going on with the celebrities and just successful people and just people, period. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do want to say to the creators and just people out there, that's how you move, and especially when you're coming up in the game, there's some good advice that I heard earlier today. You know, I had heard Remy Ma chopping it up on the interview, and she said something real interesting. You know, she was like, you know, sometimes as a creator, you might feel like you still got a bunch of work to do. You know what I'm saying? But compared to compared to some of the people around you, you know, that's 10 times the work than the work that you've already done is 10 times the work than they've ever done. You know, so that could build up some
Ooh,
hate, that could build up some hatred in their heart that you don't see. Because
right,
in
right.
your mind, you're not there yet. In your mind, you're like, man, I ain't there yet, man. You can have money, you can have a nice crib. You know, you can be like, I'm not there yet. I'm still going. I'm hungry. But it's other people around you on other levels, and they looking at that as a higher level, you know? So
That's
if
right.
somebody might see you,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he got that watch on, they might want to book you. You know, you might be at Walmart or just somewhere, you know, and you thinking I'm still hungry, you know, and even some of these up and coming rappers, because it's been happening to a lot of up and coming rappers, and we keep asking why they still in the hood and things. It's because, you know, probably to them and probably to the rest of the music industry, they really not that successful as we think. We might see him on
Right.
YouTube, we might see him on YouTube and see him everywhere on, and you know, streaming them, but that don't necessarily mean their bank account is full enough to get everybody out the hood. Their parents might still live there. They might be living in a condo or a hotel the label gave them. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily gonna bring your mom
Yeah.
with you. You know, they still living back in the hood. So my point is, you know, is like sometimes you got to recognize the levels, and sometimes you got to sit back and look at the work that you're doing. You know, you still hungry and you still going, you see
Mm-hmm.
more, but sometimes you don't, you get blinded by the fact of, hey, I'm on a higher level than a lot of the people I'm around. I'm gonna have to remove myself from that level. You know, if you look at Chink's drugs, you know, Chinks, he got killed being, why would you be there, why would you be at that little club? Because in his mind, he ain't French Montana yet. You know, if you was to ask him, he would
Right.
have said, "Oh man, I'm still grinding. I ain't on French's level. I'm trying to get there." You know, but us, we looking like, "Oh, he raps better than French. Oh, he's this and he's, you know." So he ain't looking at it through them eyes. So he moving, he's still moving regularly. He's like, "Oh well, I'm like y'all still. You know, I ain't no different than y'all. I'm still climbing."
Yeah.
But you're not still climbing, bro. If you got to look at who, you got to read the room. You know, what you think, Augie? What you think, man? I know I went on a
Hey,
rant right there, Augie, but how you feel about that?
hey, no, hey. It was very intriguing. It was very informative because that's definitely true. You know what I'm saying? You thinking in your mind because you got tunnel vision of where you know you want to be, and other people is on the outside looking in, and they saying, "Damn, they watching this growth or progression." You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
don't see it.
Right.
You don't see your baby step. You know what I mean? You like,
Mhm.
oh man, this another. I had to, this is just in a long line of steps
Right.
because you know all the steps you need to take. They don't know the steps you need to take that you trying to get to where you trying to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was perfect. That was a perfect comparison.
They
You know what
see
I'm
you win
saying?
all. They see you win all the little wars, the
Yeah,
little battles,
yeah.
all the
You
little
know what I'm saying?
battles. You know.
Because they watching you. They watching. They might not say they watching, just like Cass is watching us from the town. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just then we got
Shout out
all
to
our new
everybody. Shout out
subscribers
to
that subscribe.
everybody.
Thank you to y'all. You know what I'm saying? But what cats don't understand, this is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
Right.
what your boy said. It ain't where you from. It's where you at.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Uh
That's
huh.
why me and Agavelli, we speak on where we from, a taste, but it ain't about that
No.
because the world is so much bigger. And if you could speak to one person, you can speak to all people. All you gotta do is just get on the right frequency, learn the language, and come to a common ground. You know, and
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, and just
know what I
moving on
mean?
them principles don't need to cut your wisdom, but just moving on them principles alone will get you a lot further than where you may be at right now. You know what I mean? Just looking at it through them, that
That's right.
perspective that Augie just gave you. You know, that'll get you a long way. You know, for real.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying,
Because
man,
like even as an
because
MC,
it ain't about.
you gotta kind of have that as an MC. You gotta have that, yeah, I'm better than everybody, but you also gotta have that, okay, if somebody asks me to hop on something, I gotta be able to blend in and connect. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because you're not
Hey.
gonna, I mean, certain only certain people You know, it's only certain people, and some of them are forced, but it's only certain people who can actually just hop on and do an album, and they don't, and there's no one on it with them. You know what I'm saying? Zero features and
Right.
just go crazy. You know, that's very
That's right.
that don't happen so often. You know what I mean? It's the
Especially
collaborative,
nowadays.
right? It's the collaborative
Especially
spirit
nowadays.
of being of being an artist. You know, that gets you off the ground. You know, so you can have that mentality of, yeah, I'm the man, but you also got to have that mentality of like, all right, amongst other men.
Amongst other men. No man is an island. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You some Highlander can only be one. I can dig that. But at the same time, you know, it's ghouls and ghosts out here that's attacking the good people. You're supposed to be a part of the, you know, of the good force. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You're supposed to be a
Facts.
part of the positive energy. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Well, at least in my days, uh, MCs, even if they was on some gang, I'm just gonna say it's gangster, you know, some gangster
Right.
street stuff, right?
Right.
It still was a moral to the story. It wasn't really until NWA, it wasn't really glorifying.
Right. Right. Because
You
if you
know what I'm
listen to
saying?
Slick
That
Rick, if you
lifestyle.
listen to Slick Rick bedtime story, you hear about a whole robbery and a shootout with the police, but also you getting a message of, hey kids, you know, what's the end of it?
This ain't cool.
So don't you dare
What?
laugh. What's the end of the song?
Oh, uh,
Just another story about the
this
wrong
ain't
path.
funny. So don't you dare laugh, path. You
Right.
know,
Just another
he said,
story about the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this violent thing that just happened or that happens in the neighborhood, but I'll also give you the, hey, look, that wasn't cool, family. That was whack. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
what's crazy about that? And what's crazy about that album, right? Which that was the hit, right?
Right.
But he also had another one on there that's even wilder than that, called "The Moment I Feared." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those hip hop heads, you know what I'm saying, or young wannabe hip hop heads, because this ain't hip hop no more unless you know your history. You know, you got to know a lot of shit, and you got to be a part of the culture. This ain't the culture. This
Right.
bang bang drill. I mean, that's music. That ain't the hip hop culture. The
It's
culture
not.
embodies, you know, elements. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you rocking all these elements and you know you have knowledge of these elements, then you can say, you know what I'm saying, you can rock your hip hop flag. But other than that, you just following the beat of the commercialization
Yeah.
of,
Right.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
If
the
you
strong
promoting
frequency.
if you continue them to promote the railroading of the people, that ain't the culture. That's just a fact.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Because
You
that was
know,
never what it was built on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, you think of songs 8 million stories. You know, I mean, we're not gonna age stamp it.
oh
We're
man,
not gonna age stamp it, but what we just saying is
8 million stories was
the
the
roots of it,
joint.
it told stories. There were violent stories. There were things that were said, but it was also even about, you know, the message at
Hey,
the
you know what's
end.
so
You know,
crazy about
let's
that?
talk about sex, salt and pepper, you know, all them joints, you know?
But you know what's so crazy about that?
Yeah.
They banged them on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
The 8 million stories in my time,
Yeah.
when it was man,
Right.
you you heard it all the time.
Uh-huh. With the
You
message
know
involved.
what I'm saying? The message, come on, that's why the message is one of the illest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I want to say it's the first of its kind, but then you got, like I said, you got Kurt Blow with 8 million stories,
Uh-huh.
and I can't really remember unless they came out like Message and then 8 million stories. But I don't know, for some reason, I want to say 8 million stories came out before the Message. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I
You know
feel
what I'm
like
saying?
it. I
I
feel
was a
like
young
it, but
cat.
don't quote us in the comment. Don't kill us and say, ah,
You
nah.
know, because Kurt Blow, little do cats know Kurt Blow. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
The king of hip
Right.
hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, he been doing it. He just slowed up on y'all. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because you only want to know how old Kurt Blow is, and then check his discography.
Yeah.
of his hits,
Right.
his classics,
And a lot of
timeless.
messaging
They
in
still
there.
play. Hey, Christmas is coming. I bet you hear his Christmas story. You know,
Mm-hmm.
basketball season, and you're gonna hear you're gonna hear basketball a couple times.
Right.
And for those that's too young for that, you probably heard it and don't even know what you're listening to. And how
Mm-hmm.
that song older than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's hip hop. You know what I mean? That's hip hop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When you took concepts and you just amalgamated life with your poetry, your pen, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you made it to where grandma could listen to it. She might call it noise until she listens to the words. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Or,
Mm-hmm.
oh, all they got to say is you took that from there. I mean, hey, it ain't about that. See, in y'all era, it was like this. In this new era, with the melting pot. Didn't you say we need to melt? You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah.
once again, hip hop brings everything together. And which, hey, that's a perfect segue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right,
Hip
man.
hop and what you listen to and
Mm-hmm.
all that.
Yeah.
So we
Tap
got
in
all these
really into the
followers.
culture. Really tap into the
Yeah.
culture, and don't just close the door. And certain people, they try to promote, oh, the rappers are dusty, they never made no money, we shouldn't listen to them. Whitewash all that and just all that, craziness we see online about just the disrespect to the people who paved the way. You know what I mean? And we see it on every level when it comes to the conscious community. They want to
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing with people who've already answered questions that they still want to debate about today. And that one leads us into our segment today, man, of Aga and Agavelli, man. Yeah, we actually about to start the pod now. I know it's already been feeling real potty, but here we go. We actually gonna get to what we showed up for y'all tonight for, man. You know what I mean? And who controls your brain? The Agi been saying this from day one. You know what I mean? On mad topics, you know what I mean? And the question's been arised many times in many pods, you know what I'm saying? And we right back on it, on touching it from another angle, you know what I'm saying? Just to see where we at with it, man. And this one is like what we want to, the subject is going to be, uh, for all my creators, especially, title wars, you know what I'm saying? And what we
Mm-hmm.
mean by these title wars, you know what I mean? It's like this. You on this channel right now, like we said, if you hear it's for a reason, you know what I mean? And for that reason, you may be drawn to, the content and what you feel like is going to be said, and shout out to everybody because you definitely got to be on a different frequency, I mean, to tap in. But my point is, if you see something like somebody wins an award, you know what I mean? If say you're scrolling through YouTube or something and you looking and you see, hey, somebody wins an award, you know what I'm saying? All right, that's a cool video, acceptance speech, you know what I mean? Then right next to that, you see, hey, so-and-so got punched in the mouth and ran off stage. You know what I'm saying? Psychologically,
Yeah.
in your mind, you want to be entertained and you want to be out of the norm of what's going on in the house or whatever you got going on around you. Boom, you clicking on the something so-and-so got socked in the mouth, especially if it's a celebrity or maybe not even because, World Star and places like that started it off just regular people fighting,
Oh
getting
yeah.
craziness,
Mm-hmm.
So my point is just like the title wars, and it ain't even necessarily about the content to all my creators, It is about the content, but it's necessarily not. It's about, like Instagram, my captions, I need a perfect caption to put under this picture. Now I feel
Right.
like they done evolved YouTube to the point of where it's like, okay, I just did a great conversation or a great podcast or a great video. You know what I mean? How do I say it right to make people want to click on it? Who cares what they're gonna see once they click? Because some videos will
Right.
say, "Oh, hey, I saw one today." It's like, "Hey, so and so's grieving and finally speaks on another person's death." 500,000 views. You click on it, it got a picture of the person crying. You click on it, it's not even that video. And it's like, so it's just
Right.
the titles and the captions and these things that we just get caught up in. It ain't even the reality of the content or the reality of the person or what's even going on. What do you think, Augie?
Right. Hey man, that's definitely facts. There's a lot of fraudulent, you know, activity going on out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Cats. Hey, I got caught up a couple times. I said, whoa. You
Right.
surfing. You know what I'm saying? You trying to see what just came out, what the kids say, what the dip is.
Of
You know
course.
what I mean?
Right. We support other
And
channels.
yeah, trying to see what's happening.
Right.
And and then research it from there on somebody's news channel, or what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they got all this all over the internet. So you could do your due diligence just to see if somebody what they say capping, or or if they really trying to give out some information
Right.
for
Yeah, we
whatever
told y'all there's
purpose.
plenty of internet matlocks out here.
Oh man, these cats. Shoo. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we gonna get off of them because this is what this is why I wanna say once again my favorite slogan for the Aggies and the Agavellians. Who controls your brain? It's only one answer. You control your brain. Okay? That's a trick question. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You know what I mean?
If you're looking
So,
for an answer to that,
that's it.
you need to really look at yourself.
Yeah, man, just look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? The answer is look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Whoever you're looking back at controls your brain. Now, if you give, you rent your brain out to a motherfucker, or some people just sell their shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? They sell their soul. You know what I'm saying? To a cause, to an activity, to a destructive lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Right. There's many prices. There's many price tags on a soul. All right. It don't have to be cash money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could be sacrificing your time.
Come with it.
Sacrificing your time, sacrificing your integrity, sacrificing your forethought, whatever it may be, Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right. Go ahead, Augie. Go ahead.
Which leads me to the next word that, when I say this word and not, jumping nobody's vocab, discernment. Discernment is a very powerful word when you're dealing with the knowledge itself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And i.e., who controls your brain? The controller of your brain is the soul controller, SOLE or SOUL.
Right.
And who you wake up with every morning in your reality? You. You could jump into your George Jess and everybody rock the same shit suit. Your 1984. You know what I mean? Everybody looking like, what I'm saying, China with masks on and one uniform, like you in prison or something. That's on you. Old school Russia with the communism. If that's how you rocking, because that's how you rocking, thinking you free. But everybody look the same. They identifying us by our hairstyles. They're identifying us by our demeanor. They're identifying us. They're identifying us. They're identifying us. You know what I mean? And all these things they put in the criteria is on, I'm going to say two things. Their pseudo superiority and walking the world politics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, speak on that. Speak on that, God.
World politics meaning, once again, like I said earlier, I don't care where you from. It's where you at. If they drop you anywhere, are you going to just be a dude looking around like some goofy? You know what I mean? Or is you going to figure a way out to communicate and find out the lay of the land? Because, you might have to be here for a minute.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might have to adapt.
You know what? The other nations of people do it. Right. We don't even call it race. We won't even say races because it ain't a race for us. It's the nation of people of different nations. The other nations come right up in here, and what do? Just like he said, peep the law of the land, the lay of the land, see how things operate, take full advantage. You know what I mean? That's the type of vibes you got to be on.
I mean, and shit, hey, if it's hostile territory, boogie up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And move around. Find, everywhere you got an ally everywhere. You just gotta, that's it. Once again, the law of attraction. Who controls your brain? Do you know how to operate in a human sense? Not from such and such block, I'm from here, there, and everywhere. I'm just here, man.
Right,
You
y'all.
know
You
what I'm
know
saying?
what?
I'm
That's
trying
a
to get
great
there.
point.
You know what
That's
I
a
mean?
great point, man. That's a great point because I want you to tap on something real quick, man. On the street level and on the woke level, a conscious level. You know what I mean? I feel like even consciously, you know what I'm saying? If you getting stuck on that level, you know what I'm saying, of feeling like mastery, you know what I'm saying? It's like I heard someone say like I'm a master student, not a master teacher. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you already
Right.
putting that lid on yourself, you know what I mean? Of where and just
Oh,
painting it and just painting that narrative, you know what I'm saying, constantly without having no constant growth, you know, because like I said, we still having you know, if we still arguing over if there was slavery and Kemet and things like that, man, we got to let them type of situation go, man, and evolve
yeah,
and
man.
take the cap off things, you know.
Hey, I tell you like this, man. If if we can let go when the dogs in the water hoses of the '60s, and if we can let go the riots in 1990, you know what I'm saying, and dudes just beating, you know what I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
beating your boy Rodney, just they could have killed him. I'm talking about sticks and bang, they banged him out. If we could just forget that, you know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
gotta forget some shit that you wasn't even around for, your peoples wasn't around for. And if we can forget that when the government bombed in Philadelphia in the '80s, if we can not talk about that stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, you know what I mean? If we could just shoot that under the rug, you know what I'm saying? Leave that old shit alone.
Yeah.
We got new constant shit happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And all these cats are doing is waiting for it. Wait. They looking up and they wait.
Yeah.
They waiting for something to fall out the sky
Right. It
to
shouldn't be
save them.
zero tolerance. It
You know what
shouldn't
I'm
be
saying?
zero tolerance when you're dealing with your own people. You know, if you letting everything go that everybody else did to you, but for your people though, it's zero tolerance. You know what I mean? They life you got to
Right.
take their life over anything. You know what I'm saying? But everybody, the whole world is against you.
Oh
But
yeah,
you
man.
know, just one thing from your people
Yeah.
now is take their
The
life.
boss.
You know?
Hey, but when you don't act when you act civilized in the outside matrix, right? Because there's two matrices. It's the outside matrix for those that go out and work amongst the public and be in the public. You know what I mean? Then there's the internal matrix
Mm-hmm.
of how each of these uh, nations, as my man put it, conduct within themselves within that matrix.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So us being in the tail of, like your boy Kanye West said, slavery was a choice. Mm, he would have did the same thing as other slaves. That's what he's saying. He wouldn't have, because it wasn't no CNN for you to make a bold statement like that
Yeah.
and not get castrated. And
Right.
and you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have been saying no shit like that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
First of all, you might not even have been born. They might have killed you at birth. You know what I mean? They might have killed your father for even impregnating your mom. Yeah. So like the Augie was saying, man, you know, it's like who controls your brain? You know what I mean? It's like when if you come home from a jail bed or if you got family members that's been in and out of jail, you know what I'm saying? And you see who they around and the environment and the moves they make, you stepping into those shoes is you making that choice yourself. You know what I mean? You decided to
Yeah,
go in there. You decided to take that path. You know what I'm saying? So and even on the female level, you know, if you keep running into the same guy or keep having these same consequences with kids' fathers and things, you know, it's like, you know, when are you gonna step back and step out of that circle and say, hey, I need to change my people, places, and things? You know what I mean? It's like a lot of us we look on outside of
mm-hmm,
game, and
mm-hmm.
the environment has a lot to do with it. But it's like at the end of the day, you making that choice. You know what I'm saying? You might be at a job that you felt like you don't really like being at, or however it may be, maybe through necessity. All of us work through necessity, so you can't just say that. But you went
Yeah,
in, you went in, you filled out the application, you know, you looked it up, you made that move, you know. So at the end of the day, forgive yourself, you know, don't blame the people in there, or they're all
yeah,
at whatever going on in there. They running a place of business. You made a decision to give them your time. and to be compensated
Yeah.
for that
You
time.
sold them your time.
Yeah, so go
You
ahead
sold
and
them
get
your
that.
time.
Yeah, so go ahead and go get that compensation and leave it at that. Don't try to make it
Mm-hmm.
more personal than it should be. You know what I mean? And that's a big
Right.
shout out for real. So it's like, who controls your brain? When you're making these decisions, what's the influence? If you see
Right.
the Augie and the Agavelli telling you the streets is a myth, on one side, and the other side you see somebody getting jumped or a crime scene or just something crazy like that. All right, then that's when you're making that decision of what frequency is your brain on. Do you like that grimy, ghouly, unsolved
Yeah.
mystery
You want
type
to be a part
stuff,
of
or
that?
do you like to tap in somewhere where you can get real factual conversation and solution? You know what I mean? And that's just the
Yeah,
facts
man.
coming from iGod TV every trip. You know what I mean? But you know,
Every trip, dog. Every
at the end of
trip.
the day, it's really just like, psychologically, you know what I mean? They know that it all comes down like the Augie always. Once again, the Augie got mad quotes. Once we start pushing the merch, we're gonna have all the Augie quotes on the back of these joints,
Ah,
man. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, even in them senses, where you going with it, it's like you gotta be able to make that decision and see what side of it, what side of it do you pertains to you and what path you really on. That's my point. Those frequencies and the
yeah.
psychologically, they know, everything is mental. You know what I'm saying? That was my point. Like the Augie said, everything is mental. So they know it's gonna take
Mhm.
mentally, what I mean? It's gonna have to strike you mentally first. The headlines in
Yeah,
the
man.
newspaper, that tweet that everybody's sharing, you know what I'm saying? That photograph that everybody's
Mm-hmm.
sharing, that news clip, they making it all in the wording and all in the titling, you know what I mean? To trigger them things in your brain, that might take you
All in the
past.
time. Hey, which goes back. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry
go
about
ahead,
that.
go
I
ahead.
didn't cut you. I'm
I was
saying, but
just gonna say, because
you just
sometimes you might
pointed
go,
it back.
sometimes you might go on YouTube for something else and see something and totally forget what you was looking for.
Discernment, which means you have to be able to pick apart the real from the fake. You got to
Right,
be able to tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? From the butter and the fat. You know what I mean? And that's your personal intuition. You know what I mean? Because what's good for one person may not be good for another person.
right.
But and in saying that, that's saying well, some people are just supposed to be bad. Okay, well, you see what they do to bad people. I'm just saying, you see what they do to bad people, and they don't last long because the universal balance must be kept. And
Right.
shoot, the world is evil. So
You choose
the
to go
more,
that way.
the more of us we get together as that positive battery. You know
Right.
what I mean? We can kind of shift it, and you can have them cats over there doing their thing, and everybody can be over here doing our thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The peaceful type of manner. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got their respect that I ain't gonna go to the dark side, and I ain't gonna go to the light side if I'm on the dark side because you gotta have both. You know what I'm saying? Some people, as I was watching my man, what is it called? I think it's the Occult Science Channel. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Black brother, uh,
Yeah.
uh, brother Panic. That's his name, brother Panic. You know what I mean? Brother
Yeah.
Panic uh, said it as the shadow side, your shadow side and your light side. But he was talking about something totally different. But it took me to how he explained it. He was like, your shadow side is, yeah, you out here drilling and you doing your thing and you killing you know what I'm saying? But you ain't killing them. You ain't doing none
Right.
of them. You just doing it to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you mad at yourself. That's my synopsis. You mad at yourself. So you don't want to see nobody other than you that look like you do better than you because you ain't got your shit together. But it's a gazillion people out here. You know what I mean? It's cats that look like you that ain't where you from. You know, it's brothers out here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? From all nations. You know what I'm saying? With melanin. You know what I'm saying? They might not be from your particular stock and brand, but they all your brothers because they look like you. You know what I mean? And it's the
Hmm.
design of that. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
So so instead of trying to join the light and lighten up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Lighten up.
Right.
Motherfucker smack motherfucker push you in the gig. They say, I like that. You can't take a joke. He mushed dude. He really joked like it wasn't a joking mush.
Wasn't.
He mushed him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He laughed, but ain't nobody laugh at him. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? The musher. You know what I
Right.
mean? If it's entertainment, let us all be entertained because I'm sure the cats who on the other end of the stick is getting done dirty. You know what I mean?
Yep. Seeing it through a whole nother eye lens.
Imagine what they going through.
Right. Whole
Imagine what
nother
they going through.
lens.
But see, who controls who controls your brain also means who puts you in the situations that you put you in. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
At the end of
Who
the
did
day.
that to you? Because you always got a choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially as
You
us as
always got
men,
a
you
choice
know.
in some things.
Especially as us as
Yeah,
men, you know, because if you look at it, it's like just adding on to your point, man. Even us as men, we always talk about how they got the system set up, you know, against men and things, and we know that it's on purpose, you know, and the purpose is, you think they want all these strong unified men walking around? No, that causes rebellion. That's how
that's right.
democracies are won. That's how countries are won over. You know what I mean? So yeah, they
That's
do
right.
want, so they want more men feeling like they ran over by their wives, or they never with the woman that they really
Yeah,
should be with, you know, or their kids don't listen to them, or they had a job where they don't belong. You know what I mean? They want more of those men walking around than strong, unified men with a voice, you know, and a direction, you know,
I
and a
feel it.
message. You know what I'm saying? That's just the facts of the
Hey,
matter. So you got to, so
further add on.
looking at it like that, you know what the odds you against. Go ahead, Augie.
Now I'm saying to further add on to that, it's it gave me a thought. Not only are they emasculating men, right? Turn them
Right.
into these skirt wearers. You know what I'm saying? Turn them into these cats who I might have worn a dress once. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now now they got oath taken. All in the public view, and you know what I'm saying. And you know what goes on at them parties by now, so don't even try it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't even try it. But now they are depressing the men.
Yep. A lot of men
You know
don't
what I
have
mean?
retirement. A lot of men don't have retirement funding unless they're on 401k, and that's an investment also. You know, a lot of men have been putting in
Right,
work, and they're hoping that their paychecks can somehow make them rich, because they don't see that bank account retirement in the end of the day, you know, necessarily being there for them. You know what I mean? And
right.
things of that nature. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't want the strong, unified man, period. It ain't just about a
What a
race
second.
or a nation. It's just they don't want unified men
Right,
walking around, because that makes changes. Unified men change things, you know, and that's just the facts. And that's nothing against
right,
anybody else or any gender or any of that. What I'm saying is, for men that feel depressed and feel let down and wondering why the system feel like it's against them, or a certain man is the only man glorified or deemed worthy to be anybody or have anything, you know, it's set up that way on purpose, because when we do wake up, we do unify. Then the first things they try to come shut down. You know what I mean, Augie?
yeah, man. Hey, and that's the whole trick. That's when who controls your brain means the most. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? You got
Yep.
chessboard. Women, when you wake up, you know what I'm saying? You got control of how you rock. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can join the fast, and you can be, one of, it ain't no more one in a millions. It's the odds, that you go find everybody in the same uniform. Oh, then what's so crazy is it crosses across age barriers.
Mm-hmm.
We got the older chicks call themselves cougars. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They ain't looked at as big auntie. You know what I mean?
Right.
They cougars. Well, and hey, don't get me wrong. As an older cat, hey, but the cougar mean they preying on the young cubs.
Mm-hmm.
So now they pushing pedophilia to a sense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Instead of you should be, teaching these young men or holding them down or You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody getting married no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just having their way with these young cats. You know, throw a couple
Right.
dollars their way, they throw them away. You know what I'm saying? The Cougars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because young dudes ain't trying to marry no old chick unless they get forced and coerced. And you know that's a whole other podcast, the
Yeah.
contract of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you
Baby
really
mothers
look
and baby
into it.
fathers, that ain't even a subject of matter anymore. It used to be a thing. That ain't even a thing. That's just natural. You know, not saying people expect it, but once it happens, it's expected. People just go on with, all right, well, that's just how it is, you know. Just like how when we was
Yeah,
coming up,
man.
how, you know, taking the father out of the house was just beginning, you know what I mean? And it was like, all right,
Right.
if you ask a young dude, like, well, how did you feel about not having your father? Yeah, you had feelings about it, but you never thought about it because your best friend didn't have his either. You go to your best friend's house, his mom's there too, and aunties. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it made it look too normal. You know, if you ain't have a father,
Yeah.
you're not thinking about not having no father because you know your best friends and cousins, they ain't got no father either, you know, at most times, you know. So you just bury that in the, you know what I mean? And the guidance just gone for that
Yeah.
whole generation of men in your family, you know?
And and then it take once again coming back to who controls your brain. I ain't gonna lie, man. Unless the father don't make a way for their child to see him, or
Mm-hmm.
every time they talk to him, like, yeah, I stay here, you know, and they really know where you at. You know what I mean? Because you can't just
Right,
be picking the cat up. Y'all don't go to your crib and chill.
right.
He don't get introduced to your world. You just take him to Chuck E. Cheese 3 4
Mm-hmm.
hours and you drop him off. You know what I'm saying? You might
Right.
say, how's your grades or some shit like that, but y'all ain't sitting down, you know what I mean? Wherever you lay your wig at, you know what I mean? And somebody, getting food cooked for them, and you know what I mean? You chill, you know what I mean? Shit like that.
Right.
They ain't making that bond. You know what I mean? Because that's what they don't want, that bond. Because then that's when, like in the old days, a father taught his son uh, uh, blacksmith, uh, how to fight, how to be in the army, how to,
Mm-hmm.
how to be
Right.
a scientist. You
Trades.
know what I mean? Pass down what he knew, and what his purpose was.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
now
Your
the son
grandfather
gonna
might
get
have been a
that and
mechanic or
whatever.
something.
So you're gonna get all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're around grandpa too.
Right.
And grandpa gonna give you the best, knowledge he can give you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, every generation is gonna say the generation ahead didn't absorb it like they did. But you know what I'm saying? That's, hey man, everything evolves. If it ain't evolving, it's devolving. You know what I'm saying? And what? If you ain't adding on, you subtracting.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know what?
You know what I
And
mean?
that adds on to my point of what I was saying earlier, man, about knowing the levels of where you at in life and the perspective of where people see you. They push this whole narrative about, I don't care what people think or how people see me. Yeah, that's true on certain levels. But when it comes to your
Right,
family and the people you keep close, you got to kind of know how they see you. You got to kind of know what you projecting, because
right,
you could be a father out here to some kids and you could feel like, you know what, my dreams ain't over. I'm still pushing towards this dream. You know what I'm saying? And you could be like, my kids should understand that by my work ethic. They should see that I'm still hungry, for what I want to do in life. But through your kids' eyes, they might be looking at it like, hey, look, I want to do that same type of thing. Why don't you take that wisdom and put it in me and see what happens? Instead, you might leave your kids' dreams in the
mm-hmm.
wind, trying to get yours off to try to help them with their dream, not knowing you could collaborate that dream, bring it to fruition. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That
Hey,
was a deep science, but you got to kind of see the
hey, hey, it's
psychology of
interesting.
it and see where you at because you could be
Hey,
still
hey, but
hungry,
that's
but
interesting. That's
go ahead,
interesting
Augie.
you said that, because I seen a clip today about 50 Cent,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now 50 Cent, he got two sons. He got Marquise and he got Sire,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, Sire got restaurants in I think a couple airports, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
Entrepreneur.
his, right? And yeah, yeah. But he young. He young now.
Right.
He just got him in his. He got him generated. But 50 goes on to say that he was going to get Marquise. He gave, well, actually, he seen a sneaker store and Marquise liked sneakers, and and the sneaker store was going out of business.
Yeah.
So he bought all the sneakers, the Air Force Ones, out the business,
Yeah.
right? And sent them to Marquise. He said, you know what I'm saying? And then told him, well, you probably can get yourself an online store.
Right.
You know what I mean? Gave him the
Right.
blueprint. Marquise, he got the sneakers. Marquise decides that his mom wanted the boutique uh, instead of the sneaker store. Now, notice none of this stuff was for the moms. This was all for him.
Yeah.
Game given down by the pops.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? But once again, cats can't let go of the teat.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stand on their own too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point. You know what?
Family.
Because a lot of people, a lot of dudes definitely probably do sit on their hands or, just don't feel responsible enough to take care of their kid. However they feel, whatever their reasoning might be to not be in their life, you know what I mean? That's their own. But there also are some cases to where they trying to be but can't necessarily, because it's like I saw a quote that was like, some women say, why didn't you fight to be in your child's life? And the question is, why was it a fight in the first place?
Right.
You
Why
know what I
wouldn't it
mean?
just my child?
Yeah,
Because
why is it a fight in the first place? Why would I have to put up a fight in the first place? You know what I'm saying? I didn't put up a fight to be with you, so why should I have to put up a fight to, the outcome of the relationship? You know what I mean? And that ain't even nothing against women or none of that, because it's
right.
circumstance to every
Hey, and not pointing
situation.
fingers.
But in that
And not
situation,
pointing fingers. Somebody put that into him. Somebody
yeah.
put that into him because even when I was a child, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, Augie is over a half a hundo. So you know what I'm saying? You figure that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They say, you ain't finna take my baby.
Right.
They take, you know what I'm saying? They take
Yep.
full ownership of the child.
Yep.
And the government
Yep.
doesn't say, well, his name is on the birth certificate and he got his last name.
Right.
You are the mother and the father, but to give, you know what I'm saying? It's
except for when it's collection time. The only time your name matters on there is when it's collection time.
Oh, because they know that's yours. You tagged it.
But any type of visitation or influence in the child's life, they could care less about. You know what I mean? And that's my point earlier, like I was saying about, you think they want unified men walking around here? You think they want strong alpha men taking care of their families, winning in life, successful? That why you think it's only 1%? Why you think they call it the 1%? It could be more than 1%, but they never let you know because it's still psychological. You know what I'm saying? So in your mind, it's 1%, so it's unachievable. They keep it at unachievable because they don't want them that type of flock of men running around. Empowered women, not nothing against it, but you see where that goes. They cool with that, but the empowered men causes revolution. That causes change. That causes change in government. That causes falls in government, changes in ways of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know the real battle that you're up against as a male, period. You know what I mean? And why the family structure is set up like it is, why the financial and the family services and things like that and charities are set up as they are. You know what I mean? To leave you out of it, at the end of the day, and another topic we're going to talk about another podcast, but it's like, in certain situations, we're not going to turn it into that, but in certain situations, just to break up alone, in the kid's mother's eyes could it means, you an unfit father. If if our relationship is unfit or it don't work, that means you ain't a dad either, and they just stamp that, and society just runs with it,
Oh man, like Herschel.
That don't make me a good dad. That don't make me a bad father just because we broke up. You know what I mean? It don't work that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And society
Well,
just accept it.
They just hurt. And and then they pass that hurt. Hey, what my man said, hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
and
know what I
sometimes as
mean?
a man, it means sacrificing time with your child, you know. But in that time, you need to be building, you need to be adding on, you need to be having conversations like this, you know, with people, you know, with the same experiences and with open minds and, you know, open ears, you know what I'm saying, for people, you know.
Yeah,
Them the times that you take to build, like we were saying before about the holidays, take these times to build the situations. If you need to build yourself, okay, you got the time off work, use that little time off work to do what you need to do. So when you go back, you know, you come back refreshed and you come back ready to, you know, take on the challenges that you know you need to take on. You know what I mean, Augie?
that's right. That's right. Hey, that's all. That's all correct. That's definitely correct, man. And
Take the
right and
time in
exact.
and cleanse, man. Cleanse and take those moments that you can unplug and take them to unplug, you know, like moments when you're here
Mm-hmm.
with Augie and Agavelli, you know. So make sure you're
You know
sharing
what
and
I'm saying?
liking with other people that want to, you know, get in them same
Yeah,
conversations and you may have them same conversations with, you know. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, man, you know, before we get up out of here, you know, I just want to say, like, you know, push the truth more. You know what I mean? Not just for us,
yeah.
push the truth in yourself more. You know, if you're doing some
That's
type
right.
of study, if you like these type of studies, these type of conversations, tap into more of these conversations. You know, spread the narrative of these
Mm-hmm.
type of conversations. You know, the
Yeah,
other things in the city and things that might go on might seem enticing, and we might entertain them here and there. You know, but that can't be the main narrative, and that can't be the main thing that we focused on. You know, the problems in people's life and the tragedies in people's life and the things that go on. We learn from them and then we move on, you know, but we stick to platforms and channels like this and narratives like this, you know, that keep us pushing forward and moving forward, you know, so we know how to progress and we come to the table, you know what I mean, to see where everybody at and we can unify and move from there on. You know what I mean?
you know what I'm saying? Hey, and to add on to that, some things is meant to spectate if you ain't ready for the game. You know what I mean? Because
Word.
the referees is out here. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Throwing flags. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's on all levels. Your
Right.
integrity is on the line. Your whole being is on the line. Every day, you listener, you watcher. I'm talking about me, Agavelli, everybody on this planet. When you wake up in your own reality, you got to merge with everything else that's going on. Now, do you want
Right.
to have a positive experience or you want to have a negative experience? And children like adrenaline rushes. As when we were children, we did a lot of wild stuff. You know what I mean? Just because you feel alive.
Right.
But when as you get older, man, you come to find out that you don't feel no less alive. You just feel better about living. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Word.
And you living better, you feeling better. You know what I mean? And if you're living
Facts.
with a positive attitude, and just about even the negative, got a silver lining. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but once again, it's you that controls that narrative within your brain. You got to find the line. So ain't nobody gonna find the line. The Augie can't find it for you. Agavelli can't find it for you. Social media can't find it for you. Your moms can't find it for you. Can't nobody. Hey, this trip when you came through that womb, when you came through that cipher, and you stepped on this one. You know what I'm saying? It was your job to get wise about your surroundings and understand. You know what I mean?
Right.
What you was dealing with, so you can formulate a truth. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Within your square. You know what I mean? Your
Hey.
particular, when you wake up square, you know how you gonna be. You know
Right.
what I mean? Thus gaining your power. You know what I mean? I'm talking about within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not outside of yourself. You got to start from inside, not outside of yourself, because that's gonna come. Once you know the inside, you can control the outside because you know what you're capable of. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So now you equal everything. What Biggie say? Cats bleed just like us, and you realize that mentality right there. You ain't got that. That's that. Throw away the fear factor, and once you throw away the fear factor, you step into the God. That's
Word.
you, baby. That's you. Hey, that's that guy. That's that girl that wakes up and knowing they got a purpose. Fuck the dumb shit. We got a purpose out here. We
Right.
got a calling. We got talents. We got skills. We ain't out here just on some fladoop. We ain't out here following. We ain't out here, with the same uniform on some, on some 1984, George Orwell shit. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And then of course, once you do that, you can build for yourself. Then you get into your math. Then you get into what we always talk about. It's only 4 ways you can go, baby. You can add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Right? So you
Right.
build and destroy. And now you dealing with the shit. And after you deal with that, guess what? You realize all that, you born into a next, you born to walk through this next cipher in your life, in your progression, in your elevation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And guess what? It keeps going, cycle after cycle, sun, moon. After, you're going to see all these things, but you're going to see them from perspective of you. Not a motherfucker that's guiding you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not a motherfucker that's controlling you. You the master of you. Come on, man.
Word.
You the master of your time and your space in these fake ass 3 dimensions. You dig? In this matrix. You know what I'm saying? That's the red pill. You know, you can live on blue pill standards, but you can take the red pill. So what, you got the glasses on like Rowdy Body, on their lid. You dig? I mean, some cats, you gotta be able to surf that. Like Nora Rad, though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to silver surf that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can get your vocabulary together, get your mind together. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the past. The past ain't got nothing to do with your light bill. You know what I'm saying? We throw these the building the pyramids, we breaking down the Sphinx. For those, just let you know that the gods, we got all this knowledge and information, and you can too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We ain't building on it to say this is the new follow. Nah. This is information, man. And for those who can utilize it and break it down and enjoy it, avandanza. You know what I'm saying? Bon appetit.
Right.
But
Right.
for those who ain't, you ain't on that, just don't be on it. It's other things here for you. It's conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? It's when we do our little streets as a myth, because we ain't just talking about. I mean, we showing you.
Right.
You seeing it. We just coming from a perspective like that's that bullshit. That's that distraction that's keeping you from blossoming into the you that controls your brain. They controlling your brain right. All this violence, all this wickedness, this debauchery, it's out of control, man. And I know it's like watching your favorite movie until you in it. Until you in it. You like watching them joints where motherfuckers getting shot at the gas station until it's you getting shot at the gas station. Until it's your man's, until it's your grandma got hit by the stray. You know what I'm saying? And then you I can't snitch, grandma.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Your loyalty, and that goes back to family. Your loyalty, and what's so crazy is they promote this lifestyle everywhere. They stereotype it. Everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The parodies is supposed to make you be like, this is some sad shit, but it's funny. They making it funny. You know what I mean? But they like, it's really, you can actually act like a motherfucker for real, and it be not a parody. Or you can bring a motherfucker on and you like, man, is this dude kidding?
Right.
He ain't kidding. Because he don't control his brain.
Yep.
The set control his brain. Flag control his brain. And and big up to the 5% nation, saying nation of God's the earth. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that was taught, and the best lesson, which is the number 3, that understanding. Once you understand that it's you to control your brain, now you free to study anything you want. Because once you know it's all about you, you know what I'm saying? You the
Right.
guy to read. You the scientist. It's you. You can't. Ain't nobody to point no fingers. Ain't nobody. You the self savior. You saved yourself from
Right.
a life of being a sheep. You know what I'm saying? You do what you
Mm-hmm.
got to do, get what you try to be. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's not because it's tradition. It's not because this holiday came up and I gotta eat chitlins. And you know what I mean? Nah,
Right.
you eat the chitlins because you want to eat the chitlins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me that. Don't give me cut the what is it? What is it? Cut it out.
Right.
Cut it out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I can't impress enough. Everything you do it. You know what I'm saying? And you can say the devil made you do it, cop out. You can say, let's motherfucker got. Well, I'll tell you like this: motherfucker got the biscuit to your wig. You got the choice to say, I still ain't gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you control your brain. You
Mm-hmm.
said you wasn't gonna do it. You gonna do it because they made you do it, huh?
Right.
And I
Right.
don't even want to put a scenario to that. That could
Right.
get so ugly.
Or just
You
be
know,
one
you
of them,
did.
or just be one of them people that, okay, you use the excuse of, I don't support the mess, but I entertain it just to point the finger. It's like, nah, we ain't doing that either.
Just as
We
bad
still
as them.
supporting the messiness. You know, if you see that if you see something, you clicking on it, you watching it, or however it go. You know, if you supporting the mess, it's because you supporting the mess. You know what I mean? There can't be no I do it to
Yeah,
judge and all that judging and all that going on either, man. It's like, look, if we supporting positivity, we supporting unification, we supporting growth. You know what I mean? We supporting elevation. You know what I mean? Then that's what we doing. You know what I mean? We ain't entertained in no
yeah,
other aspects. You get married, you put a ring on a
yeah.
woman's finger. That means that you telling her I ain't entertaining none of that other shit no more. And
Right.
it's like, all
Oh
right,
man.
if you married to the conscious community, or if you married to these certain concepts, then we ain't entertaining none of that other garbage, man, and making that be
That's right.
especially to the point to where it's the forefront, what I mean, of the narrative. We got to stop that. That's what we mean. I'm not talking about the laughing and the joking. Hey, I want to just watch YouTube and just have some fun. All that's cool, but what I'm saying is, the mess I'm talking about, and it's like the internet Matlocks are just the YouTube catfishers, with fake stories
Yeah,
and things.
man. Fake
And we
Grammys
gonna just push that narrative,
and
and we're gonna make that the forefront of the narrative, man.
oh,
Come
hold
on,
up. And don't forget the pie battles. Don't
yeah.
forget the pie battle. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Prominent YouTuber that that they want to go against another YouTuber. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They both getting guap. They both
Mm-hmm.
they both got the checks that's gonna get them checks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But they want to sit back tearing another person down. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
vice
pretend to
versa
be
for
gatekeep.
their
To
views.
pretend to be
And
gatekeepers. You know what I mean? We not doing. You know what I mean? All that's got to
right,
come to an end, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a fact of the
yeah,
nature. That's
man.
just the facts of the matter. But once
Then
again, we want to thank everybody for tapping in, man. And everybody who does come into the channel, share and like us. Facebook, every platform. We Facebook. You catch us, Dave
oh,
Trescott. John Scruggs,
John Scruggs,
Instagram, Augie's in the Gigoid, Aquarian Mind, TikTok, iGod TV, TikTok, what is the Big Augie, right? On TikTok?
the Big Augie.
Big
Yeah,
Augie on TikTok, then we also on Twitch, 11th House, the number 11 TH_house. You know what I mean? That's also on Twitch. You'll be catching a lot of the live streams coming on Twitch also. Make sure you catch us on Facebook. We go live a lot, and shout out to everybody that's
yeah.
watching the reels and keeping everything going for us, man, liking and sharing, man. It's all peace. We're going to keep coming with that wisdom. You know what I mean? What you want to say before we get up out of here, Augie?
Hey man, I just want to say thank you, Agavelli, for once again having a
Appreciate you.
you know a superior, what I'm saying, supreme mind. What I'm
Thank you.
saying, with your dissection and critical thinking skills. What I mean? I
Thank
want
you.
to thank
Thank you.
all the Aggies out there, the Agavellis. What I mean? And
Word.
once again, shameless promotion. Yeah, and the Agavelli is the master. Uh, what is it, technical wizard. He the wizard of technology over there. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you,
So,
God.
I
Yeah.
had to throw that in. You know what I'm saying? Because I control my brain, and I ain't got no problem with big up in my squad. You know what I mean? And sending
Right.
that positive energy.
It's
You
a
know what I'm
fact.
saying? And letting them know. You know what I mean?
Right.
You need to tap on in
Right.
and peep out some of this. And people, the reels is cool. But see, when you come beyond the reels,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Come beyond. Quit that. Hey, hey, the reels is beautiful.
Right.
But come on into iGuard TV, man.
Yeah. That's right.
Come on into iGuard TV. It's on YouTube. Come on, man. You know, and I tell you like this. For all the people that come in and yell Augie, you know what I'm saying? We got a shout out for you. You know, right. On our next gig, we gonna, hey, for all the new Augies, you know, we gonna shout you out. Hit the like, you know what I'm saying? Hit the share, you know what I mean? And if you new to the Augie universe, to the universal Augies, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Subscribe. Get you a subscribe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Get your subscription, man, because we got some shit in store. Woo!
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Touching mad avenues, you know, all different lanes. Yeah.
Great Space Coaster, man. We come, we take it all. We come to all stops, all avenues, all frequencies. We trying to get right to where we need to be, man. And everybody that's supposed to jump on is gonna be on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Gear up, as my man say. Gear up. You know what I mean?
Fact.
Gear
That's a
up.
fact. Word,
you know what
man.
I mean? It's cold out here, man. Layer up. Gear up.
Right.
Get some of this good food, man. It's just conversation, man. Unless my man want to go, you know what I'm saying, want to take you through the technical realms, you know what I'm saying, of different esoteric sciences. Now, if you want some of that, you gotta, come on, man. You gotta go live to planet Earth. You know what I mean? It's real. Hey, if you come to our playlist, right? Hey, he made it real simple. If you want to see the Aggie and the Agavelli, Aggie and the Agavelli, you'll see everything from day one. You'll see the whole progression.
Right.
I'm talking about you'll see it go from there to there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like pew pew. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, then of course can't forget Mr. Ooh Wee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta go to the Great Lakes Radio. You know what I mean? Then of course, we got the master student. We gonna quit calling cats master teacher. We got the master student that's on galactic levels.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The shape shift, the time move. Yeah, because I just seen it with my own too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can regulate his melanin and his age. He's a wild boy. You know what I mean? Good cat to have on your team. It's like having the wizard on your team and shit. You know what I mean?
Sure is.
He'll do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then of course, back to the Aggie and the Agavelli, you know what I'm saying? We always iGuard TV. You see that 7 winking at you, blinking at you. You know what I mean? Come on in and we don't. Another thing, if you want some of that merch, get on iGuard TV on YouTube, and just all you gotta do is ask.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments.
You don't like that winky blinky?
Right.
That garbage. Yeah, man. Put it in the comments, man. If you want some of that flavor, because we ain't gonna give you nothing you don't want. You know what I mean? We ain't finna force nothing on nobody. We ain't finna do none of that. You know what I mean? Everybody who here want to be here
and welcome. Yeah,
ain't no bill. What is it? Ain't no Me Too culture shit going on around here with our channel. You know what I'm saying? Everybody consented. Everybody consented to these jewels. Everybody consented to the blast. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So well, years later that we the next thing that they were talking all this esoteric spaceship stuff and then they were talking about the streets was a nothing and there was a
Right.
I can go on forever with the Babel. I could build the Tower of Babel, but that's why we destroyed that shit. There's no more babbling.
Right.
Brooks Babel. It's a babbling brook. Brooks Babel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then we speak, like, I need to get that off my chest because I control my brain and I need to say that. You know what I
Facts,
mean? To the
man.
people. And we ain't gonna
Nah,
tell
that's
you
a
nothing
great point.
that
That's a
ain't
great
right.
point, man. It's a great point. When you come here, we're gonna have the real conversations that we feel like we thinking in our human brains and as a collective. And when it's time to go back in
Mm-hmm.
the past, when it's time to take a glimpse into the past and see how they might have done it, or to recharge and see our energy and see who we really are, then we tap into that.
Yeah.
When it's time to look at new talent, we tap into that, show y'all a little bit of that. When it's time to get with the grandmasters and let them stamp everything we've been talking about, we bring them on, let them put the stamp on the whole thing. You know what I mean? So it's like we
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
everybody's here and people that's been drawn to the channel. I'm sure you're around other people in that same cipher because that's the same way we roll. So send it off to them, man. Let them get a glimpse. Let them check it out, man. And we come together, man, and we start building this network of people that we can use as resources, man, to tap in with, and help things happen for all of us. You know what I mean? Not just us, you also. You know what I mean? Having these connections and having these people around with the like mind.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I mean? So once again, it's Born Build Universal, transmitter supreme sounds on Earth and the universe. And we're here with the big Augie.
Aggie.
Yeah,
Salute.
yeah, yeah. And this is I God TV. Peace.